Hello, welcome, welcome everyone. So it's been a long. I think after title Tuesday again, I am doing video today. So today, yesterday, Tata Steel Chess has started one of the strongest tournaments of the year, and it's amazing. And a lot of strong players are there. Lot of interesting games. Total 13 rounds. So I will be doing commentary on those games. So let's see the live games today. After that, we can discuss about yesterday's games also. So first, yeah, one by one we'll go. So first we will go Hare Krishna, right? India's number two, very strong player. I think yesterday with Maxim he had clearly better position, but okay, it happens. He drew. So let's see his game first. So please let me know, guys, if sound everything is okay. Okay. So what? E4. I think yesterday also Hare Krishna was white. He played E4 as well then, and it was knight of opening. So let's see E4, C6, D4, D5. So here, guys, actually C5 is main, one of the main, and E5 is main. These two are like the main openings, like the first choice, let's say. And in semi openings, C6 is the best, and next it's E6. Then it's like okay, D6, Pirk defense, etc. So C6 is Caro-Kann and E6 is French defense. So actually a lot of Russian players will play C6, which is very solid. And recently Alariza Firoza also started playing this Caro-Kann, and he had a lot of successful games actually with C6. And I also started playing Caro-Kann. Okay, so let's see. So E4, C6, D4, D5. This is all theory. Okay, Hare Krishna played advanced variation. D5 actually knight C3 is the main line. Like if takes bishop F5, knight G3, bishop G6, H4, and it goes like this, like H6 and H5, knight F3, bishop D3. It goes like that as the main line actually. But E5 has got a lot of popularity because of the structures. It's very complicated, and the position is fixed. And you know, in this line the position is kind of open, so black gets this c5 break, this important break sometimes, and the position gets free. And a lot of new reporters has came in Caro-Kann defense, so it's going to equal. So top players, you know, they started to play this e5. In this still a lot has to be explored, and I mean, because the pawn structure is fixed, like there will be lot of variation and lot new variations. So Hare Krishna played e5. Actually there is another line actually, ed5 cd5 and bishop d3, which is a exchange variation. And mostly, you know, this is okay, this is like, you know, for blitz rapid, you just to go in a flow, like to play fast, like c3, knight f3, bishop f4, etc. But actually exchange variation is not so strong. Black will be fine actually if he plays the opening correctly. Let's say this is for beginners, like for new. Okay, so he played e5. e5, c5, c5 he played. Okay, there are two lines here. Bishop f5 is considered as main. c5 is second option, which this is also good. Actually, I played myself Karokan from black, and I generally play this c5 variation, but okay, both are main actually, bishop f5 and c5. So c5, knight f3, takes. As we know, uh, all the games here, every player is really well prepared. So let's see. Knight c6, c4. I think opening up the center, e6, yeah. Knight c3. This is all theory, I guess. Bishop e2, knight g7, and castle. So let's see here. Bishop e2. Obviously, he cannot take this because check, and he has to go, and we'll just take this, right? Or if he takes this, then we'll just get double bishop advantage. Actually, this, or I think even cd5 is fine. Then we'll get bishop a3 controlling this diagonal, which I think is very good for white. So let's see, bishop b4, bishop e2, knight e7, castle. What if he takes now? Let me see, just a minute. Yeah, okay. I think he can play queen a4 check. He has to go back, and maybe knight d5, knight c6, knight c6. Maybe something like this, right? Knight c6, knight c6, cd5. This, maybe bishop f3, or maybe bishop b. Actually, bishop b5 looks nice because I am threatening rook e1 check now, and main threat is to take on c6 and b4. But we don't know. Maybe they're still in preparation. So black is playing fast. It's Hare Krishna's moves now. So I mean, he played castling, and black is thinking no. Maybe, I don't know. There should be something actually. The opening is. I mean, from here we cannot analyze no, because there will be lot of lines, right? So okay, let's see. Let's go to another game. Hare Krishna game we saw. Let's go to Magnus game. Yeah, Magnus won a very nice game yesterday with Firoza. So what is this? Oh, Rajesh. Hi, Rajesh. Hi. Okay, let's see. He's playing with Anton Gujiro David from Spain. He won the last year's, I mean in 2019, I guess. He won the B group, so he got selected to A group. Well, let's see. E4, C5. Obviously, Magnus he wants to create complications. And F3, NC6. NC6 has become very popular after Magnus played with Fabiano Caruana in his World Championship match. So what Magnus played is that bishop b5 used to play g6, and the main is like takes, knight f6, and e5 Sveshnikov variation, which is actually very popular a long back. Like let's say in 2010, 12 around that time, and I mean it's still popular till now, but it's very rare, Sveshnikov variation. But after Magnus played this against Fabiano, again this Sveshnikov system got so popular, and I myself played this Sveshnikov system. This is very complex, very dynamic positions. We have to understand the position in this variation. That's the main thing. That's why Magnus chose this variation. Okay, so let's see, he played nc3, obviously to avoid it. Magnus played g6. So actually the point about this nc3 is, so if I play d4 takes and he's getting this, right? So nc3, black has to make a move now. So let's say if nf6, which is not so good actually, because now I won't commit d4, right? Like maybe I can play bishop b5, whatever, something else. Maybe e5 is not correct, but maybe I can play bishop b5. A lot of different stuff is there. So the move nc3 is played to avoid Sveshnikov variation. And if he plays e5, then it's bishop c4 and it's completely different structure. And if he plays d6, then I'll play d4. Then again the position changes. Black is not getting what he wants. Yeah, whatever, like e6 also, then I'll play d4. Position is getting changed. So Magnus played g6. I think this is accelerated dragon variation. Let's say it's dragon variation, which is very rare at higher level. Generally, sometimes Hikaru Nakamura and Duda John Christopher plays it, which is very rare actually, this dragon system. Okay, let's see. Bishop g7, bishop e3, knight f6, knight b3, d6. I don't know about knight b3. Okay, maybe he didn't committed this d pawn. Black always has this d5 directly. I think that's why he didn't play bishop c4 variation. Makes sense. I don't know, maybe bishop c4 is main. Not sure. Okay, knight b3, d6, f3. This is typical plan, right? Like white wants to play queen d2, long castle, g4, h4, h5 attack. This is a typical dragon play from white. Like queen d2, bishop h6, straight that bishop, h4, h5, just attack. So Magnus played bishop e6, queen d2 and d5. Interesting. Kusum, hi Kusum. Thanks for joining, guys. Okay, let's see. So what he played? Okay, he played d5, which makes sense actually. So let's say if black plays castling now and white plays queen d2, and if bishop e6 and white will long castle and d5 won't come, this break won't come, and it's, I think this kind of position is bit pleasant for white, because it's just the flow. Like let's say h4 h5, just two moves and the attack is started on the king side. So what Magnus did, instead of castling like it's normal random move, he played bishop e6 first, queen d2, and he played d5. No, he didn't waste that one tempo. If he castled before, then white would have long castle and he wouldn't have got d5. Instead of that, he played bishop e6 first and d5, which is very clever, but I'm not sure what is going on. This is kind of new position actually. Yeah, that's why generally white won't play knight b3. It's too slow. White will play bishop c4 to stop this d5 stuff. Like he will, let's say bishop c4, castling, bishop b3, like this. And like there are some variation like f3 queen d2 castling, or h3 and just play, oh sorry, f3 queen d2 long castling, or h3 and just play short castling, like that. Generally the bishop will be on b3, I don't know, maybe this is his preparation. But he got d5, so maybe black is fine, right? Black looks fine. Let's see if long castling I can just take here maybe. And if exchange means obviously black is fine. Like let's say just takes, he let's take, like takes maybe with the king, or maybe with the king and takes, this pawn became weak, no? And black just plays king c7 and rook d8 maybe. Sorry, maybe king c8, not c7, because bishop f4 check is there. Or even knight g4 looks fine. And keep the knight on e5 and it's very strong. So taking is obviously not good, because I'll just take with the queen or bishop, anything is fine. I think black is completely fine after this. Like this bishop is awesome, knight is well placed, bishop is well placed, rook c8 will come, everything is free, should be fine. So maybe long castling takes. Can I move my queen somewhere? Let's say queen f2, right? Queen f2. Queen f2. So attacking the queen. Maybe just queen c8 or queen c7, knight b5 is coming, so that's why I didn't like that. Maybe queen c8. He cannot take with the pawn because knight g4, and once I get this bishop, then I think it's even better for black. Queen c8, yeah, queen c8 looks nice. If I take with the knight, he'll just take. Knight b4 looks good. Even short castle looks fine. No, let me just. Yeah. Even short castling looks nice. Actually, I can play knight b4, threatening to take on a2, something like that. Yeah, knight b, or even just short castling and play rook d8. Just develop our pieces, and I think it's just completely fine for black. So let's see. Magnus played d5. White is thinking. Let's come back to this again. Okay, next we will go to Vashir versus Firoza, right? Interesting match. So what? e4. Yeah, as I said before, yes. Firoza played Caro-Kann. Yeah, the Caro-Kann is very solid opening. You know, like the pawn structures are fixed and it's kind of very flexible. I mean, it's like you can play for win from black actually. It's very flexible opening. So e4 c6, as I said, he prepared Caro-Kann very well, Firoza. d4 d5, yeah. Bashir also played e5 because in nc3 variation a lot has came. It's like kind of going to equal position. So I mean, obviously as white players will try always. So advance is the main one in recent days, kind of, because the pawn structures are fixed and very flexible. Like c5 breaks will come from white, c4 breaks will come. So Firoza played bishop f5. In before game Harikrishna versus Esipenko played c5, which is also kind of main line, but bishop f5 is the actual main line, the main move, let's say. So why bishop f5? Let's say if we play e6, the bishop is getting locked here. Okay, let me tell you one thing, guys. Let me tell you one thing. What's the difference between Caro-Kann and French defense? So what's the difference means e4, let's say e6, d4, d5, e5. Kind of same, right? Like the pawn is on e7 and like the if Caro-Kann the pawn will be on c6, here the pawn is on e7. I mean French the pawn is on e6, in Caro-Kann is on c6. So e5 like c5, c3, etc. And this bishop is locked inside, cannot come out. This bishop cannot come out. That's one of the problems in French defenses. One of the main problems is in French defense is this bishop, because this bishop will get locked and lot of trouble will be there to to come out. So in Caro-Kann, in French that's the problem. In Caro-Kann, let's say bishop will come out. That's one of the main points actually. For that, so bishop is coming out and we will play e6 next. So instead of like being bad on f5, it will be active like in this diagonal. So for that, what we lost means like one tempo we can say, because anyway like after let's say like random, right, e6 bishop e2, like after some development black will play c5, because he has to attack the center, and like after c5 knight will come to c6, finish the development. So we can say that like in French black will get direct c5 but his bishop will get locked. In Caro-Kann bishop will come out, but it's like we are losing a tempo now. For that bishop activity we are losing a tempo, like kind of. Now we have to play c5 again. So it's like actually it's the player's choice. It's his taste. Like some players will play Caro-Kann, like they like to keep their pieces out active, and some players will think that okay, why to waste tempo, we have some other ways to play, so let's not waste tempo like that. Okay, both are fine actually, but in recently Caro-Kann is more popular. Okay, but actually it makes sense. Okay, we are losing a tempo, but now the bishop is activated. It's on f5 instead of being on c8. Okay, so d5, e5, bishop f5, knight f3, e6, bishop e2. So this is all theory. Knight e7, castling, and c5. See guys, so as I said before, we lost a tempo, but the bishop is active for that. So it's like kind of compensation, right? For this we are getting that. So short castling, c5. Obviously the knight stays better on c6, so we are breaking up the center, and we have to attack the center because white has space on king side because of this pawn on e5. Okay, so c5, c4. Okay, c4. So that's the thing, right? The positions are so flexible, and we can see now like it's already got complicated. Like just seventh move and all the position is complicated. So what's happening? White is kind of counter striking in the center, like he break through and he played c4. I think white wants to open up the position because black is underdeveloped. His knight is here, he should move his knight, should develop his bishop, then should castling. So he thought, okay, I'll just open up the position. But some problems are there for white as well. Let's say like after all these pawns get cancelled, like this pawn will become very very weak. because this pawn will get cancelled, and a pawn support won't be there for e5 pawn, right? Like knight c6, knight g6, this pawn will be very weak. Let's see. So c4, he played knight c6, maintaining that tension in that center. Okay, he took dc5, he took this pawn, bishop c4 and g6. Yeah, as I said, like the pawn is not there on d4, right? So this pawn has become weak. So we should play bishop e3, which makes sense actually. We have to defend this pawn instead of this. Let's see, if we lose anyway, this pawn is weak, we have to keep defending it, etc. So like we can keep this pawn and give this, and in future we may get queen some passer on queen side, right? Because it's 3 versus 2, so we may get some passer on queen side, so it's better to defend c5 pawn. So he didn't took, because I think if he took, he'll just take and give a check. So if knight d7, obviously it's not good, because queen a4, rook d1, or even knight c3, it's good. If knight c6, maybe just queen f3 or even queen f4 is good, I guess. Maybe just play queen f3, right, and play c3, rook d1. You know, white pieces are coming so fastly and his position is so active. So this is good, this is good. So knight g6, bishop e3, bishop e7. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to castle and I'm going to take on e5. Then this check won't become, it's fine for him. So he played bishop e7 to castle first. He played bishop b5. It makes sense actually. So he's like, you know, I am going to take this knight and be pawn up. Yeah, because he just won the pawn on c5. He's like, okay, I'm just going to be pawn up. Okay, Kusuma, you should join. The stream is Harsha. Okay, I can join, but in general I'll do video separately. But yeah, I can join. Peace, Kumar. Hi, Harsha. Hi. Flexing Jess. Hello. Thanks for coming, guys. So where am I? Where was I? Okay. So bishop e7. So he wants to castle first, short castle, and take on e5. So he pinned the knight. So let's say if we like an example, let's say if we just short castle, I think white will just take here, because this knight was attacking the pawn. So he'll take with the pawn, then maybe I can play knight c3, or even something like, you know, knight a3. Actually knight a3 looks cool. Not threatening to play knight c4, I mean not now, because if I play knight c4 now, he has bishop d3 attacking this rook and the knight. Like let's say example this, and he'll play this, and he has bishop d3, right, attacking the knight and the rook. So if he plays this, maybe I can just play b3, then I can play knight c4. Once I get this knight c4, knight d6, and I think it's good for white, because this knight on d6 is like just monster, right? But okay, if I take and play this, maybe black has something else, like queen d5, maybe queen d5. If I take, okay, taking is not good, of course. I thought bishop g4, but knight c4, queen d5, queen b3 maybe. Actually this is good only. Rook d8, something like that. It's really unclear. because I cannot defend this pawn. This is pinned and this is pinned, and this pawn is also weak. That's the thing, yeah. It's very unclear. Yeah, Firoza played castle. Yeah, Firoza played short castle. Aryanara, hello. Hi guys, hello. Hello, hello. So we are watching Tata Steel Masters, guys. It's so great that like tournaments are getting started. Right? I think, guys, in summer slowly a lot of tournaments will be starting. Maybe I hope some tournament happens in India. It's like it's been almost an year. Mm, in 2020 last year, I only played two tournaments actually. One is Delhi Open and one more is national team in February, I think. So after that, there is no board game actually till now. It's almost an year. So very excited to play some OTB chess. Hope tournament starts. Let's see. Okay, let's keep going. This major tournament has started, so I think slowly they will get started. Anant Narayan, hi Harsha, good going. Thank you, man. Okay, so yeah, as we thought, Firoza played a short castle. So I think Vishir will take here because or not, then there is no point of playing bishop b5 actually. What I think is if he doesn't take on c6, then why to play bishop b5, right? There is no use kind of. Yeah, I think he has to take, or maybe he has some other plan. By the way, guys, take and knight d4. Maybe I didn't see this one. Attacking the bishop and c6 pawn. If he takes here, then I'll take and play knight c3, right? Then okay, even this I think black is kind of fine. Yeah, maybe I can just takes knight c3. You know, this pawn is very strong now, controlling all these squares. Very good, very good. So Firoza has a lot of time. I think he's very well prepared. So takes. Let's think, right? Knight c. What about knight c3? Doesn't make sense because okay, he's developing, but where he wants to go? Knight a3. I mean, knight a3. That plan is to play like knight c4, knight d6. In c3, it's like we're just developing, but it's not doing much yet. Okay, it's controlling e4 square actually, but knight c3. I think bishop g4. Yeah, this is not good. Actually, we cannot defend this pawn. I will just take here and take on e5. Okay, I can play queen d4 actually, but no, takes. Okay, knight h4 is there. This pawn is weak. No, this is not good, I guess. I mean, for a pawn, black has a lot of compensation actually. These pawns are weak. This file is there, like rook b8 stuff. Let's see. Okay, he took he took on c6. Vishy took on c6. Okay, we'll come back to this game again. So how many we have? How many more we have? We only saw 3 games. We have 4 more. Okay, let's go to Donchenko and Fabiano. Donchenko is from Germany, strong grandmaster. Fabiano, we know from US World Championship challenger, and he's very strong, very strong in classical chess. I mean, obviously he's world number 2. Okay, let's see. He played d4. So I think this is first d4 game, right? I think before all 3 games were e4. So this is d4 game. Okay, let's say d4 d5. This is strategical stuff maybe. c4 c6. So Fabiano played Slav variation. Wow, I didn't expect a Slav. I thought something like, you know, with e6 structures like Nimzo or e6 d5 structures. Okay, d4 d5 c4 c6, knight f3, knight f6, e3. Okay, this is a slow Slav. They say this. Generally, they'll play e3 because after knight c3, they don't want to play this Slav variation or this semi-Slav, which is theoretically a lot of stuff is there. One of the, like I would say, semi-Slav is like it's like lifetime reporter, if you can say. Like if you perfectly learn this system, semi-Slav, and like see all the games, learn everything about it, and you can just play this lifetime. You can play this. Like you will play, if you play some mistakes you will recheck it, and you can play this for sure all the time. Very strong reporter, this Semislav. So maybe he wanted to avoid that, so he played e3, which is a slow Slav recalled. So now this doesn't make any sense because he'll just take with the bishop with tempo. It's coming out, and he can play nc3 short castle. It's fine. And e6, white has some other ideas here, like with b3, let's say. So I'll briefly say, like, okay, let's say knight c3 e6 e3. This is considered as mainline, like bishop d3 Maron variation, queen c2 is anti-Maron variation. One of the important thing is bishop d3. Now we can take on c4. Why? Because we are just winning a tempo, right? Like let's say here, if we take, he's just directly taking with the bishop. Like it's coming out, it's coming to active place with just one more. Here we are not taking it. We are waiting. If when he develops the bishop, then we will take. Now his kind of tempo wasted. We will play b5 again. Again he has to go back. Then there are a lot of lines here, like bishop d6 is main, bishop b7 is there, a6 is there, lot of stuff. And here queen c2 is anti-Maron. Again, if we take here, he will happily take, right? Again, just we are giving a free tempo. So we will play bishop d6 here. If bishop e2, bishop d3, whatever, again we will take and play b5. This is one of the main things. And again there is a lot of stuff in this. So like okay, this is, let's not go to deep opening, right? Like a lot is there, let's say, like in Maron anti-Maron, like almost like around 30, almost 25 to 30 most theory is there. So let's not go there. So let's say, okay, so what white did is, like, to avoid those all, he played e3. So Fabian played bishop f5. Okay, let's say if black wants to play like this, let's say, then we can play b3. Now the difference is, let's say knight d7, bishop b2, bishop d6, bishop d3, short castling. And by the way, now it's ways to take on c4, right? Because white will take with the pawn and he will have the center control, full center control. No, that's why it's not good to take with the to take on c4 now. That's one of the reasons, right? Now I am not losing the tempo. The pawn on b3, I can just take on c4 with the pawn. So castling, let's say now white can play knight on d2. That's one of the main things in a slow Slav, guys. So the difference, knight on c3, knight on d2, what's the difference? Okay, knight on c3 leads to different lines, that is different, and d2, this will go to different types of attack. Because this bishop is now opened, we have control over this e5 square. That's the main thing we can say in this, and we are evading those dc4 variations, right? dc4, bishop c4, we are losing tempo. Those variations we are evading, and we are gaining control on e5 square. Actually, I played this e3 myself a lot of times. I played. So my positions also got like this, and I won some nice games. Let's say like a queen e7. Queen e7 I think is main, to play e5 and or to play bishop a3 to exchange this bishop. Let's say something like rook e8. Actually, we can do a short castle, or we can even play knight e5. Okay, I'll give a brief line. Let's say b6, short castling, bishop b7, knight e5, rook c8 or queen e7, whatever. Then f4. These kind of structures will come in this line, like queen f3, queen h3, or rook f3, rook h3. This is the structure. So if the knight was on c3, then we cannot play knight e5, right? Because he will just take. So that's one of the main reasons, I mean main things in this line. So yeah. So he played bishop f5. So what's the drawback in this variation? Black can play bishop f5 now. That's the thing. When we play knight c3, he cannot. Bishop f5 is not so good because queen b3 is there, and we are attacking this pawn, and we are gaining pressure on this pawn, keeping pressure on those two pawns. Because of e3, this pawn is kind of defended, like it's not attacked. So bishop f5, so you can see, guys, actually it's very interesting, right? Like it's kind of awesome actually. Like if we play nc3 lines, there are different stuff. Like nc3, there are different kind of things, different stuff, some problems, etc, etc. So to avoid that, if we play this, for this again we have new problems, new kind of stuff, everything. Like you can see that in one move a lot is changing. Like in knight c3, it's like completely different story. If we play e3, it's like completely different story, like completely changes. That's the beauty of chess actually. Like every time a new stuff will come, every day new things, new games, how much ever we play. Like this is just fourth move, right? nc3 is like completely different, e3 is like completely different, and there are a lot of stuff actually here. Exchange variation is there. I mean, if we go, it's like never ending story. Okay, let's come back to the game. So what happened? Bishop f5, knight c3, e6. Yeah, now we can see, right? Now it's like because of e3. Now we see, guys. Now see. So if we play knight c3 first, bishop f5, yes, queen b3. d5 is on pressure, b7 is on pressure. Sorry. So for that he played e3. Now there is no need to play e6 because the knight is not on c3. We can just play bishop f5, knight c3. Now we can play e6. The thing is actually the same thing, right? If you play knight c3 first, e6, then e3. But in one move order, a lot is there as we discussed before. And instead of the bishop being here, it's now here. And uh, a lot has changed. Here bishop before, and now it's here, and okay, new position again. So Harsha, when you will play next match? Actually, don't know, yaar. Hope tournament starts soon. OTB tournaments, but maybe mostly in April, May, some point there. Okay, looking forward to it. Hope it starts. Mukul Singla, what you say? Only 3 viewers send a GM. Okay, it's fine. Let's not think about viewers. Like I am just enjoying this, saying this to my viewers. How much, like how many hours are there to see? Only 3 viewers. Okay, only three, but at least three are enjoying it, right? Hope you guys are enjoying it. So yeah, stream just doing for fun, having a great time with you guys. Okay, let's get back to the game. So e6, knight h4, attacking that bishop. Obviously having double bishop is good. Knight h4, bishop e4, makes sense. F3, bishop g6. So he's saying that directly if I go back, you will just take, right? So I'll play this first. If I take, then he'll take with the pawn, then this knight is kind of out of the game. So white played f3, now he went back. Now this pawn structure is kind of got weakened. So black is like, okay, I made your pawn structure weak for double bishop. I am giving you double bishop, but I made your pawn structure weak. If he developed, bishop e7, took that, takes. Now we can see, like, this rook became active, and this king is kind of weak. This diagonal is kind of weakened. That's the point of playing bishop e4. So hg6, queen c2, knight d7, long castling, a6, g4. He's like, okay, I want to attack. So black was like, you know what, I will also attack. So he took on c4 and played b5, bishop e2, c5. Yeah, because the king is here, right? So he's opening up the lines on the queen side. So c5, d5. Wow, d5. Wow. Let's go back a bit. Let's see from here. So he played bishop e7. He took, played queen c. I think both are in deep preparation, I guess. Obviously, if he takes, like, he'll take with the bishop or knight, and he'll play queen b6, rook c8. Maybe with the bishop, right? I don't know. Maybe I think knight is also fine, and he'll play queen b6, rook c8. Actually, you don't have to castle. This rook is so strong here. You can just play king f8, king g8, some stuff like that. So he gave d5 to close up in to close in the queen side, and opening up the center. He gave pawn sack actually. So he took and played f4, b4. Okay, we are here now. Just a minute, guys. Okay. So takes. He played f4, then b4. Okay, why he played f4? To play bishop f3, right? To attack this pawn. Bishop is so strong. So takes f4. He played b4. No, I think bishop f3 mostly. Then knight b6. This position is very unclear, but actually I like black position because I think it's really difficult to generate counterplay on the black's king, because h4 maybe he'll just take the pawn, or e4 maybe he can play d4, e5 rook c8. It's unclear actually, but okay, black is getting d3 c4. Lot is happening, a lot is happening. Yeah, this position is very unclear, so let's see. Okay, let's go to Duda's game. Duda John Christopher versus Grandelius Niels from Denmark, I guess. Oh, Sweden, sorry. And Duda John Christopher is from Poland. Okay, Grandmaster Sham Sundar is here. What do you say? Good going, Harsha. Smile. Okay, bro. Okay. Thanks for the tip. By the way, bro, if possible, can you join the call? I mean, it's your wish, it's fine, but if possible, you can have some fun, right? Anyway, thanks for the tip. Oh, actually, this is serious game, right? So I was going in the flow. Okay, let's see. Duda John Christopher versus Grand Ellis Nils. So c4. Okay, this game c4. c4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, b3. I think Duda is well known for his opening choices, weird opening choices actually. Just a minute, guys. Okay, okay. So, okay, he played a b3. Just sideline, I think. Okay. It's normal. He wants to develop his bishop first. e5, bishop b2, d6. Black played e5, d6 to control this bishop activeness. For that, he gave control over the d5 square for white. Obviously, after e5, he's losing control on the d5 square. So, yeah, knight c3, g6, g3, bishop g7, bishop g2, just developing pieces. Knight e7, cancelling, d3, rook b8. Okay, I think he wants to play a6, b5 in near future. That's one of the plan. Typical plan in English opening. So rook b8, knight e1. Okay, this is one of the main plans in this. Knight e1 in English opening. So what's the plan? The plan is to play knight c2, knight e3 and knight d5, guys. So the knight on f3 is not doing much. So if we think like, okay, where is the weakest spot for black? Is d5 square, because we have full control on it, like see pawn and knight full control, because the pawn is on e5. Like if the pawn is on e6, that's completely different story, but it's on e5. So knight e1. Idea to play knight d5 directly, or knight c2, knight e3. So Black played bishop e6. So white played knight d5. Why not knight c2? Like to play knight e3 and knight d5. That's why white played knight e1, right? But the thing is, black will play d5 now. No, he cannot play this because d4 is just a fork. If he takes, he'll just take with the knight. Now it's like the position got opened, and after this it feels like the knight is better on f3 again. So he's starting to play d5. So white play knight d5 to stop it. Queen d7. Obviously he cannot take with the knight because pawn takes and is fork. Bishop is defending that pawn. So knight d5, he took. Okay, he played queen d7. Knight c2. Bishop s3. Yeah, like okay, this is one of the strongest bishops, right? Controlling everything, this diagonal, and it's like because of this bishop the king is very safe, so he wants to exchange that bishop. Okay, queen d2, takes and f5. Yeah, okay, this is all quite common in this. Now I think black is planning. Okay, he, because this bishop is not there, white has to be a bit careful now. So it's confusing. Okay, maybe black wants to take on d5 and play knight e7, f4, some attack, creating some attack. So let's see what white can play now. What white can play now? Okay. Let's think, guys. F4. I am not sure. F4 I am not sure because I feel like black can just take on d5 and play knight e7. E3 looks too slow. E3 is not good obviously because guys, he'll just take and play knight e7 and we have to play e4 again. Then f4. Some attack is coming. White king is very weak. But okay, still actually we can play f3 and play g4, fix the structure, and this bishop will become very bad. But okay, what else is there? Obviously we won't take. Maybe something like a3 b4. No, the reason behind rook ph3, guys, like suddenly in future, like let's say after takes we can play b5 c4, opening up on the queen side. Lot of plans are there. So I feel like maybe I don't know, maybe I would prefer. Okay, it's too early to say actually. This is kind of typical positions in English system. So let's see. Let's see. It's interesting. Okay, what we have? Yeah. Okay, we are seeing now Netherlands versus Netherlands. Van Forest Jordan versus Anish Giri. Both are really good in opening preparation. So let's see. Both played really fast. So what has happened? E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6. Okay, this is Petrov defense. Takes D6. Okay, this is a small trap actually. We have to play D6 and take. Like just like normal, if we take, white has queen E2. The thing is, if we move the knight now, knight c6 check, and suddenly he's just losing the queen. Like queen is on whatever, we are just winning the queen. If we play something like d5, then we have d3. Sorry, we have d3, and he has to move the knight again. check and just take the queen. So what generally black plays here is queen e7, take the knight, d6 because it's pin, but we will play d4 and we are just pawn up. That's the thing. So knight e4 is bad. We have to play d6 first, drive away that knight back and take on e4. Yeah, take on e4. So now if we play queen e2, actually black will just play queen e7, right? It's just completely fine. Yeah. It's just completely fine. So knight f3 takes knight c3. This is all theory, guys. Just a minute. Knight c3, just takes. Yeah, I mean if we go back, it's just like losing a tempo, right? It's just like losing a tempo. So we'll just take black just to takes bishop e7, developing. White also plays bishop f4, knight c6, just developing our pieces. Like you can see, bishop c4, bishop f5, queen d2, queen d7, long castling, bishop e6. Okay, this makes sense actually. So the thing is, if directly black plays bishop e6, he'll just take and this structure, I think Anish Giri felt like is not so good for him. Like let's say queen e2, e5 he has to play, because at some point he has to play e5 because the pawn is bit weak, so he'll just go back. And I think white will just play knight d2. Let's keep some random moves, right? Okay, let's say long castling, king b1, king knight d2. Let's say like f3, then play knight e4, then play bishop f2. The thing is, white is a bit more free, right? This bishop is kind of out of play. d5 we can play, but every time this pawn will become weak. Like d5 now I can just take here. So I think Anish Giri didn't like that pawn structure, so he put bishop f5, queen, and he played this. Now if white took, he just takes with the queen. Now he's saying that okay, it's symmetrical now. Like I am not having any weaknesses or whatsoever. It's symmetrical and fine now. So bishop e6 takes, queen takes, king b1. Black is attacking this pawn, so king b1. Okay, sorry, where is, okay, wait, what happened? Yeah, okay, this game. Okay, so king b1, long castling. Yeah, long castling is more safer, because short castling now it's like white will play h4, something like that. For black queen side it's bit slow, but for white it's too strong, right? Like h5, h6, or queen d3, knight g5, or even crazier like rook h3, rook g3, something like that. Lot of stuff is there. So he thought, okay, I'll just do long castling, knight d4. So I think if he takes, white will take with the queen, and the pawn on a7 is attacked, and the pawn on g7 is attacked. Double attack. So black went queen d7, but anyway he took and played queen e3 now. Now the bishop is attacked and this is attacked. So bishop f6, he took the pawn, takes, he took the pawn, takes, queen a check, king d7, queen a4. Oh, Are we having draw or what here? I think they will agree to a draw. I think so, maybe. Check, check, check. Yeah, come on. I think it's a draw, yeah. Because I think queen c6, maybe queen b3, and this pawn is attacked now. If rook f8, maybe something like rook d5, rook h d1, and rook b5. I mean, okay, come on. Why black has to try, right? It's I mean, black got the opening which he wanted, and he simply got good position, and it's equal, right? So he'll just make it draw. Is fine. Petrov is one of the nice strong openings. It's like it's if you do correctly, black will get really good positions. And Petrov got really popular because of Fabiano Caruana. Actually, a lot of Chinese players played Petrov, but actually after Fabiano Caruana played it, and he played Petrov for to win the game. Actually, that's the crazy thing. Actually, this is considered as a solid line, but he played Petrov and won so many games. So it's one of the important game lines actually. So I think this will be a draw, or maybe he'll try. I don't know. Let's see. So last game, I think a lot has happened in different games. Let's go. Okay, okay. If we see this, I think we covered all the games till now. Okay, this is interesting. Let's see. So Aryan Tari versus Wojciech Rudolsla from Poland. Aryan Tari is from Norway. So let's see. E4, C5. Wojciech is very well known for his black reporter. He's a Knight of Expert. Maxim Lagrave and Wojciech are really very good in Knight of. So if you guys want to learn Knight of, I would prefer you guys see these two guys games. Okay, so E4, C5, Knight F3, D6. He played Bishop B5 check, which is very solid line. Bishop B5 check because let's say after D4 takes knight this, and there is enormous theory. Like so much is there, and still till today, a lot of new variations are coming. Yeah, a lot of stuff is there. So white, white is like, okay, I'll just play Bishop B5 check. Cut all that theory, and this is just a simple position now. Bishop b5 check, and again here I think bishop d7, knight d7, and knight c6 is also there, but knight d7 is the most popular one to try for the win. Knight d7 is the line. Bishop d7 generally like takes, or with the queen is kind of solid. So he played knight d7, a4. I think this is a side line. Knight f6, knight c3, a6, bishop e2. The move a4 is, now we can understand this. Let's see, if the pawn was on a2, instead of b6, black would have played b5 and b4. That's why white played a4. Like example, let's say if castling knight a6 come back, and black will play b5. So again he has to be careful about this b4. Black is gaining a lot of space on the queen side. So a4, the main reason behind the a4 is to avoid this stuff, this b5. So black played b6. Black has to play b6 now, because if black didn't play b6, white will play a5, and this pawn structure will get fixed. And after, if you play b6, then it's like pawn structure has got weakened. It's not so good. So b6, d4 takes, queen takes. I think this was I think this opening was given by uh, Hammer in Chess 24 series, if I am not wrong. I think. Anyway, so queen d4, e5, queen e3. So why queen e3? It's like, first it doesn't make sense, right? Like, what is this queen e3? We were like blockading this bishop. This bishop should go to g5. Like, what is this blockading this? But the thing is, he wants to play b3 and bishop to play bishop a3 or bishop b2. That's the reason. So he played queen e3. So let's say bishop b7, bishop b7, short castle, bishop b7, just developing pieces. Knight d2. Maybe knight d2 is just for I think knight d2. Why knight d2? I think he wants to play knight c4, move the queen, and knight e3, knight d4 in the future. Yeah, he played rook d1, threatening to play knight c4. So queen c7, he played b3. Yeah, b3, knight c5, bishop b2. Yeah, as I said before, he played queen e3 because he wants to keep his bishop on b2. Bishop b2, h6, b4. Wow. Knight c4, attacking this pawn. Has to defend. Knight d7, a5, b5. Yeah, if obviously taking on a5 is not good because he'll just take with the rook or knight, and he has full control over the queen side. So actually Nazdov is known as for complicated lies, but we can see here it became completely strategical. So generally it's like kind of strategy, right? Like the from black, the players who plays Nazdov are actually willing to play complicated stuff. Something which is the position becomes open, not strategical stuff, right? Whoever plays Nazda from black, they want to play attacking chess, this complicated lines, etc. Obviously, I also play knight of opening. Generally, everyone will accept, will be willing to play that. But because of this bishop b5, this kind of lines, like white player is saying, like, okay, you want to play complicated lines or attacking, etc. whatever. So I am just cutting off all of that and going to play some normal positional stuff, which will be very boring for us. I mean for black players. Okay, so knight d7, a5, b5, knight b6, takes queen mate. So what about this position? So the pawn is on b6. The pawn is on b6. Just a minute. Okay, let's see. So the pawn is on. I feel like actually it's it's a bit vulnerable over there. Vulnerable. Because no pawn can defend this pawn, because if for let's say e5 pawn, we can see the pawn is defending the pawn, so it's like we cannot attack with any pieces. There is no use of it. But this pawn, how can he defend? Like, okay, see, like moving the knight and c4 looks too slow. Still, he'll just take. I mean, if he goes to endgame, obviously this will become a passer, but I mean, what I'm thinking now is if black plays like bishop c6 and bishop d8, he's just losing the pawn. What he will do? What he has thought? Aryan Tari. Let's think. Maybe knight d5. If he takes, he'll just. But I don't like this. I mean, he'll just play knight f4, and how he's going to stop bishop d8 and bishop into b6? No, this is not good for sure. For sure, this is not good. Actually, you cannot stop this bishop d8, and you're just losing a pawn, and the knight on f4 is super strong. So knight d5 doesn't look right. If knight d5, bishop d5, then I mean rook d5, then I think just knight f4 has to go back, then bishop d8, and again he's just losing the pawn. So I don't know actually. Queen b8. Okay, he played queen g3. Oh, queen g3. Oh, what's the plan? Okay, what if I just play bishop c6 now? I don't know. I want to take this pawn. What? Ah, okay. Understood. Oh, this is really clever. Yeah, I understood. Okay, let's say, guys, let's say bishop c6. Attacking this pawn. I think he'll play bishop c1. So if this I'll take here. Let's say if I move my king whatsoever here, and he'll play bishop e3 and defend this pawn. Wow, this is clever, but will this work? I'm not sure. Still, it doesn't look right, but I think that's the plan, right? Or what else if I play bishop c6? Knight d5 takes knight f4, just losing pawn. Bishop c1 I think is the only move which makes sense here. I don't see anything. I feel like Tari somewhere misplayed this. I think Aryan, somewhere he misplayed this one. Bishop c1 maybe. I think I don't have to play king h1 also. Bishop g5 I can play. Okay, but okay, king h8. Let's say bishop e3. I can play bishop g5, or I can play queen b7 slowly attack. Sorry, not this. I can play bishop d8 and take. Actually like black position. But okay, let's see what goes on. Okay, I think we have covered all the games. Okay, let's see. Okay, so yeah, I hope you all guys understood the opening concepts, etc. So okay, what happened? Let's see now. Let's go to Hare Krishna position where we left. We left here, right? So he didn't took the pawn on e5. He took d takes c4. So attacking this knight. So he took on c6, queen d1, rook d1, yeah, knight c6, knight b5, threatening knight c7 check, cancelling bishop f4, first defending this pawn. If I take here, I am just losing the pawn, right? So he first defended this pawn, a6, knight c3, and he played bishop c5. Why not b5? If you guys see, why not b5? Like, what's wrong? Okay, like, can someone can tell in chat? Like, why not b5? What's the wrong if black plays b5? The thing is that White will play bishop f3. Pin, he cannot move the knight. If bishop b7, then rook d7. And he is just losing a piece actually. I mean, for rook he is getting 2 pieces. Now he cannot move the knight because bishop is hanged. He has to defend it. Then I'll just take on b7, takes at bishop c6. And for rook I am just having 2 pieces, and probably should be better for white, right? Obviously 2 pieces are stronger than the rook. But okay, black has a pawn, and I think it should be bit better for white. So he said like, okay, I'm just playing bishop c5. But bishop c5, I don't know what's his plan like actually. Okay, let's say okay, I think if white takes here, he will play b5, and with the tempo he is developing the piece. Or he can even play knight d4, attacking this bishop. Yeah, he can play knight d4 actually. I think this is better. Okay, so wait, yeah, so I think that is not good. Yeah, he played bishop f3. Yes, the most important. Okay, as we know that Hare Krishna is really good, very strong in end games. His positional chess is really good. So bishop c5. So he thought, okay, you know what? Like if I take on c4, I'm getting my pawn back, but I'm losing the important time. Like black is playing b5 and developing his pieces. So he played bishop f3. You know what? I'm not letting you play b5, and activity is more important than the pawn. That's what he means by bishop f3, I guess. So he's saying that okay, my pieces are active. You have the pawn, but my pieces are active. You cannot play bishop d7 because rook, I'll just take. You cannot play b5. I'm just attacking this. So what you gonna do? That's impressive. So what if knight d4? Let's say what if knight d4? And I think he can just play bishop e4. Still he cannot play b5 because it's pin. He cannot play bishop d7 also because bishop e3, and just losing a piece. So that's the thing. I think yeah, Hare Krishna is an endgame masterpiece. Endgames he will play really good. Like actually like most of the players, let's say like it's common to take the pawn, right? We give the pawn. We are, like if we give the pawn, we generally take the pawn back. That's like kind of common things. But here you can see that that's the thing, like the experience and the knowledge and the way he thinks is the most important here. Like he's like, you know, I am not taking the pawn. For me, piece activity is more important. That's the thing. So yeah, very interesting game. Let's keep going. Okay, let's go back to Magnus. What has happened? So we left here, right? That okay, he got d5 and we thought okay, black is mostly fine maybe. So he didn't play ed5 or long castling. Anton played bishop b5. So Magnus took on e4, take on d8, takes, pawn takes e4, and bishop d7, long castling. Okay, what white is saying that okay, this is like kind of a forced sequence. I mean, after playing d5, we have to take on e4, right? So takes, kind of everything is forced, and this pin is really annoying, and knight c5 is also coming, so bishop d7 makes sense. Long castling, knight g4, this also makes sense. Knight g4, attacking this bishop, and threatening to keep the knight on the strongest square. I think on e5, like once the knight goes to e5 and it's like okay, he cannot move the knight with the pawn. It's very stable there. So bishop c5, he took on c3. Hmm. Okay, wait. Wow, this is cool. He took on c3. This is the things we have to learn, guys, from this indie game geniuses. Prantham. Okay. Who is AG playing? I think Anish is playing with Van Forest Jordan with his country mate. Okay, so where are we? Bishop c5. He gave the strongest piece for this knight. So normally we'll be like what is this? Like as we can see, this bishop is very strong, right? Like full active, full diagonal is open, very strong piece. So why he gave for the knight? That's the thing. So he changed his advantage to another advantage. That's one of the most important things when you are playing positional chess. So he changed his advantage to okay, 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 it's fine now. Okay, okay, yeah, we are back. Okay, so okay, where are we? I was explaining this, right? So as we can see, okay, Magnus played knight c5. So he had very strong bishop. For that bishop, he gave that advantage, and he made opponent's pawn doubled. So this is like kind of even better advantage, right? Like if we think in a technical way, he has a strong bishop, but he has a strong bishop. That's the thing. With that strong bishop, he was able to make his opponent pawns double, and he has isolated pawn. So yeah, Ankit Raj. Yeah, black is better. Yeah, yeah. Black position is already better due to isolated pawn. Yes, yes. Black position is better, and he even has doubled pawns now. So let's say if he goes to endgame, like exchange some pieces and goes to pure endgame, and this e4 pawn, this double pawns, everything will become weak, and it's just easy for black. I think Magnus is going to win this. As we know, Magnus is expert in endgame. Let's see, let's see. I mean, Anton have to play very carefully, and let's say black is better, obviously. As you can see, isolated double pawns. He misplayed in opening itself. Yeah, black is better. So let's go to Veshir and Firoza. So we left this here, right? He took, and see guys, he played knight a3. Like what we have thought. Like at the beginning I was telling knight a3 only, right? It makes sense, like knight a3, because knights, like we have to See this is one of the important time. It's like, no, it's just not like, okay, just develop the pieces. It's not like that. We have to think, okay, where is the best square for that piece. Knight c3 is like just developing, okay, but what is it doing here? Nothing, right? So if we see correctly, the d6 square is weak, so knight a3 going here and here, that's the point. So Firoza played queen b8. Wow, I thought actually bishop g4 was better, because like pinning this knight, like we have like time, like any time we can double the pawns. But maybe he thought that, okay, my bishop is very good, I have double bishop advantage, for the pawn I have compensation, why to give that bishop? That's also nice. So he played queen b8, attacking c4 pawn and b2 pawn, knight c4, defending both the pawns, bishop e4. Ah, bishop e4 makes sense. So he's like, I am going to keep my bishop on d5, very strong. So he's like, okay, I am going to keep the knight on d6, bishop d5, b3. Just he was attacking this pawn, right? So b3. By the way, why can't he take, guys? Takes and takes. What's wrong with this? Maybe he thought that, okay, white will play queen e4. If knight goes back, he'll just take on c6. Then seriously, this pawn will become a big headache for black. If he takes and takes, then actually bishop f4, f6, rook e1, maybe rook c1, even rook c1. White is completely fine because he'll take on e5, and these pawns will get doubled, and e6, e5, c6, every full pawn structure became weak. So he's like, okay, I won't take that. He played bishop d5, b3, and he played f6. This looks nice. This looks nice. I mean, this is also interesting. Obviously, we know Firoza is an attacking player, and he likes aggressive style. So as we can see from here, if we observe, the bishop is on f5. So he converted that bishop to king side. Like, it's looking at the king now. Instead of here, it was like, I mean, it's active but not doing anything. Now it's looking at the king, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to open up the lines now. I have double bishop. My bishop is super strong here. You cannot move this bishop. Always keeping an eye on the knight. This is actually amazing plan. Bishop d5, f6. Now he's like, if you take, I'll take with the bishop, or even maybe rook is also fine. Maybe I think rook, he'll take with the rook, because now he's threatening to take on d6 and f3 as well. If I move my knight somewhere, then he'll just take, and the bishop on d5 is a monster. Oh, actually, this was amazing play by Firoza. Like we can see how well he is prepared actually. Bishop e2, knight c5 break, developing pieces. He just gave the pawn for development, and he converted his bishop to the strongest place, and he is now opening up the position. Nice. So let's go to next game. Fabiano was okay. He took on f6. I think mostly he'll take with the rook, or I think bishop is also fine, but I feel like he'll take with the rook. I'm not sure actually, but let's see. I think bishop is also fine. Let's look at Fabiano's game. What has happened? A lot has happened. Okay, yeah, very interesting games, guys. Very interesting games. Mm, what has happened in this game? B4, as we thought he played E4. Wow, position is getting open. E4, obviously, if he takes, is not good. If D4, he played E5. Knight B6, E6. This is an interesting game, very interesting game. E6, no, like if he takes, he has Queen G6 and the black king is very weak. So E5, E6, Queen D5 was played by Fabiano and he took and he played King F8. I think King F8 is better, yeah, because taking here, like let's say with Queen or King, it's like opening up the files for yourself. That's not good. That's not good. So after King F8, it's like the white pawn itself is like sheltering the king. Like just say F5 like takes etc. Like if he has took the pawn on F7, the king was very weak. Now also it's very dangerous, but it's bit safe. So yeah, this looks very complicated, very interesting position. Let's see. So again, so what about let's see this game. Let's say Anish game, right? So we thought maybe they will repeat, but no. Van Forest is trying for the win. So what happened? I think it two, yeah, two times has repeated. No, actually it's like if Queen 8 is draw. Queen 8 is draw three times. But Van Forest wants to try for a win. That's what we want. Exciting games. So Rook E1, Queen C6. Yeah, and he took and played C4. So what is this? Whom would I prefer? Okay, one thing is sure that white has this advantage. This like forever advantage. This passed pawn, black always should be careful about this passed pawn. Like just say white, like let's say c5, b3, king b7, a4, and it's like always we have to be careful about this pawn, right? Because there is nothing to stop this pawn except the pieces. So this pawn structure I think is good for white, but okay, let's see, maybe black can defend with the pieces, right? With active pieces black can defend happily. Who knows? Let's see. And wait, let's go to Aryan Tari game where we left. Okay, he played king queen g3. Yeah, we know that his plan was bishop c1, right? So uh Vaistajik was like, I'm just going to move now itself. King h8. He played bishop c1 as we thought. Actually, most of the moves we are guessing, guys. Most of the moves we are guessing. Like in Vashir games, that knight a3, knight c4. In this, we expected this bishop c1 plan. We are guessing the moves. That's good. It's always good, right? Because they are top players, and instead of looking at the engine, that's actually I would not prefer, and it's actually bad when you are looking like wherever you see in chess24 also 24chess.com anywhere, when you are seeing a game on side there will be this bar, engine bar. and engine moves obviously, which is not at all good, because your mind won't be working. You will just see the moves. Ah, okay, this is the best move, this is the best move. Then what's the use of seeing the game? The important thing is, you have to keep the game and you have to try to guess the moves, and like to see like you are matching with them, like the way you are thinking, how it is. You will learn a lot of stuff, right? If they move and if they play another move, then you will feel like, okay, this looks fine, this looks fine, okay, what's wrong with our plan? You can learn, you can keep learning. So I would always advise that, don't keep engine while seeing live games. That's not at all good. Okay, so as we thought, Aryan is playing bishop c1. Obviously, really keep the bishop on e3 to defend this pawn. But I still like black position a bit. But okay, actually because of bishop c1, now white can play knight d5, takes, and black doesn't have knight f4 because this bishop is defending. But still, I like black position a bit. I don't know the evaluation, of course, because I didn't kept engine. But okay, I like black position. Let's see. So who else game we missed? Okay, we missed Duda's game. So we left here. We thought f5 and it's unclear position. So f5, white played b4. So obviously black is trying to attack on queen side and white is opening up in the queen side. b4, f4, yeah. He's going all out in the on the king side. As he exchanged this g2 bishop, exchange this g2 bishop, now that white king has become bit weak, right? So he's attacking. So he took and played e4. Wow, this is going to be interesting. So this is going to be interesting. What if f3, f3, king h1, queen h3, then knight e3? Oh, this is very complicated, guys. And maybe I think once white is able to stop the attack for a second, I think it's just fine. Like example, let's say if white gets rook g1 and g4, it's over. I would say white is clearly better, because if you see strategically, the knight on d5 is a monster, and if you take with the knight, let's say he'll take with the pawn, and that is protected passer pawn, which is like till the end it's a plus point, right, for white. And this bishop is active and this pawn will become weak. So the once the attack gets stopped, like white arranges his pieces, and I think white is just completely fine. So takes, he played e4, which is a brave move actually. So I think it's better to keep the pawn on f4 only instead of committing f3, because after f3 white is getting this e3 square for the knight, right? I think it's better to keep the pawn on f4 and play g5 maybe. g5, knight g6, trying to attack like king's Indian. I think g5 is good. Threatening to, like, okay, not like threatening, but like knight g6, h5, h4. Like first, like get our pieces, put them in the nice squares, and then play f3, etc. attack. So I feel like maybe g5 is nice. So obviously now opening on the queen side is like not at all good for black, because black play is on king side and white is trying to open up on the queen side. So black shouldn't open on the queen side for sure, we know that. So yeah, don't know, I feel like maybe g5 is good, but I would prefer white position here. Like if I want to play like from which side, I would take white here. But okay, it's really unclear. Let's see. So what else? Let's go to Magnus position one set. What has happened? So knight c e5. Black played bishop d3, and I think is just over, right? Black is completely fine. He got everything what he wanted from opening. Now what he just have to do is just arrange his pieces. Like I think maybe castling. I'm not sure, but like I mean dream position. If you ask, it would be like bishop c6, bishop b7, and the pawn on f6. And this knight, this knight has done his job on g4. So let's go back to like f6 d7 somewhere like that. But actually I thought taking with this knight was good, but okay. Magnus took with knight c e5. Okay, white Anton is thinking. Okay, sorry, Magnus is thinking. Let's see how it goes. What about Firoza? Okay, he didn't took still. I think he's just thinking out, okay, what? Should I take with the rook and take this knight, or take with the bishop and do attack? Okay, let's say if take with the bishop, then I think he has to play knight d4, right? It's really unclear, because what I'm thinking is if rook c1 something like that, I can just take on f3 and play bishop b2. But still, what do you guys think about this? White has a very good company. This knight is a monster here. I feel he has to take with the rook and remove this knight, because this knight is too strong, that knight. So I feel like he has to take with the rook and remove this knight, but I don't know, let's see, maybe he has some amazing plan with bishop f6 etc. Yeah. Who else game we will see? Who else? Let's stay with Harikrishna sometime. We didn't see Harikrishna's game, right? For a long time. So okay guys, I'll see Harikrishna's game and Magnus games one more time, and I'll go. So let's see Harikrishna's game. So bishop f3, as we thought, activity, I mean stopping his development is strong, I mean is more important than the pawn. So bishop f3, rook b8. So why rook b8? Because I think he just wants to move the bishop, and I mean move the knight and play b5. And one important thing, right? Hari took on c6. So it's obvious, like okay, he played bishop f3 to take on c6 and to destroy that pawn structure. Now like it's like, let's say if we take if we take on c4, like he would get his pawn back, but black was completely fine. Now it's like he's pawned on, but black has doubled pawns. They are like till the end it's weakness. So rook b8 he played, that which was clever, because obviously white is going to take on c6, takes, and he's attacking this pawn, right? So rook b8 was clever, so he took on c6 and played rook d2. Simple chess, just defending this pawn. What he's saying, I think, is just okay, this bishop is completely bad, not coming here. These pawns are like completely weak. Like I feel like this pawn we can get anytime we want. Like just play rook c1, knight moves, just take, or it's just weak. So bishop is on event, rook ad1, just bringing all the pieces to the game. He played a5, activating this bishop, at least like to play bishop a3, bishop a6 and defend this c4 pawn. So he played bishop e3. Hari Krishna. So why he played? Maybe I think, this bishop is not doing anything here anyway. So I thought, okay, I'll just come back and play f3, king f2, or actually I like my, I think if my bishop comes to c3, I like it a lot, because bishop on c3 is defending this pawn, defending b2 pawn, and this knight I can keep on c6 somewhere else. Okay, when he moves the bishop, black played f6, which I think is fine. Okay, obviously if he takes, he should take with the pawn to maintain that center control. And of course he is following the principles, right? When you have the bishops, you have to open up the position. Or is this bad? So you have to open up the position. Yeah, f6 is good. Yes, I think I feel like white is slightly better, but black has some compensation for sure. Like let's say I mean white tries to open up the position whatsoever, and black bishops will get active, and yeah, more space will be there for black. I think, yeah, bit better for white. So let's say okay, voice does it, guys. Okay, this okay, so he is actually going with what we thought. So we thought bit different, that's it, but it's the same thing we analyzed, right? King h8, bishop c1, bishop c6. Bishop c6 is what we thought, like attacking this pawn. Now he'll play bishop e3, and we thought like, okay, bishop, yeah, he played bishop e3, and we thought like, okay, bishop d takes, or anyway it's good, right? Keeping the eye on the b6 pawn. It's nice. It's a nice feeling actually, like what we think the players are playing that. So it's nice, right? Okay, so where are we? Oh, so Grandis actually played f3 check. Wow, this is going to be very interesting game. So f3 check, king h1, knight d4. So I think obviously he'll play knight e3. Don't know, but he has this knight e2 stuff. When he plays queen s3, we cannot play rook g1 because knight e2, and we'll lose the exchange. Okay, nice. It's going to be interesting game. And okay guys, finally I'm going to see Magnus game before ending for today. So Magnus played bishop a4. That's an interesting move, because now let's say he cannot play knight d4 because knight takes d3, and he cannot take with the pawn because rook is attacked. He has to take with the rook, again knight e5, and I'm getting all the squares. The pawns are weak. Everything is falling apart. So bishop a4. Anton played bishop d4, threatening h3. I cannot move my bishop is threatening this. I think he has to play f6. I think it's kind of forced to play f6. Now h3, he has knight h6, and I think he has to take, because once he get knight f7, then it's like unbreakable setup. Like just imagine this knight f7. This knight is permanent here. You cannot do anything. So let's say he took and he takes, and obviously black is, black, it's double the pawns, but obviously black is fine, because this pawn is fixed on light square, and I can play knight f7, knight d6, and bishop c6. Like example, I will give, okay, one variation. Let's say like this, knight d6, like, okay, rook f2, something like that. Then bishop c6, attacking this pawn, and I'll play king d7, rook f8. I mean, the pressure on this e4 pawn will always will be there. So it's black who is attacking actually. White has to defend. So f6, yeah, I think knight h6, and it's good. Okay, if he doesn't take, let's say rook f1, then knight f7, then obviously taking now is even more bad, because he'll take with the knight. But let's say like what if he just his position like this, like he won't move anything, he'll just keep it like this. Then I think black can play short castle, play rook c8. Okay, let's give a sample variation, right? Let's play this. Actually, white cannot do anything, guys. His pawn structure is so weak that he cannot do anything. He just have to wait, like, and see like what black will do. This, bring this rook also. Let's say this. Okay, anytime he can play knight d6 if he want, and he has to take for sure, because knight is coming to c4. Or black can play like knight c6 and play e5, and knight d6. Everything is under control. I feel like black is obviously fine and bit better, and yeah, Magnus will find some way for sure. We know about Magnus, right? He's like endgame genius. So yeah. Okay, guys. Today I'll end the stream. So like, okay, from the opening, let's say to middle game, I analyzed. So, and I have shared a lot of opening ideas and the plans, what to do, etc. So do follow the games, guys. It's going to be very interesting, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. See you soon, guys. Thanks for watching.